What separates a man from a monster? Is it choice? Is it fate? Or is it something deeper? Something wired into us from the very beginning? They say killers are different. They say men like this are born broken. But that's a lie we tell ourselves to sleep at night. Because the truth? We are all made of the same raw material, every single one of us. Two steel plates, identical, strong, unyielding. But one is magnetized, pulled toward something unseen, drawn toward destruction. Is it not still steel? The same atoms, the same weight, the same form, just different. This is the truth we fear to admit. We are not separate from them. The only difference, we obey the rules of the world, and they do not. When the rules no longer bind you, when the weight of consequence is ignored, what is left? Nothing but the raw, unfiltered nature of man. And that nature is savage.
Cash Feenz killings.
In the notorious Cash Feenz case,
2 Cash Feenz members
for the brutal Cash Feenz murders.
Cape Coral, Florida, a paradise on the Gulf. A city of 200,000 where the sun kisses the water, where canals weave through neighborhoods like veins of liquid sapphire. Named one of Forbes' best cities in Florida, it boasts booming industries, pristine beaches, and a crime rate once so low it felt untouchable. Between 1990 and 2000, only 13 murders stained its record. A quiet town, a safe haven, or so it seemed. But beauty is a delicate veil, and beneath the shimmering surface of Cape Coral's paradise, something else lurked. Dark secrets, beneath the mansions and marinas, beneath the palm trees and painted skies. A different kind of current ran through this city, one built not of water, but of blood. 2 young lives, Alexis, 18, and Jeffrey Sosa, 14, beaten, broken, burned. Their final moments swallowed by flames, their bodies left in Alexis, abandoned, forgotten, as if their existence could be erased with smoke and ash. But this story didn't start with murder. No, this fire began with a spark. The night was thick with humidity, the air tense with defiance. Alexis sat in his car, speakers screaming into the silence of midnight. A simple request: turn it down. But respect is not a language all understand. Nunez's mother stood at her doorstep, a mother's voice, ignored, dismissed. She retreated inside, unaware that arrogance would soon take shape in violence. A brick, a windshield, shattered like fragile trust. The air now tasted of anger, and from the jagged edges of broken glass, a feud was born. But Alexis wasn't finished. A voicemail, filled with venom, spit through the phone like poison. Words sharpened like knives, each syllable a wound that would never heal. No one knew it then, but that voicemail wasn't just a message. It was a prophecy. And soon, the night would call for blood. A few weeks had passed. It was Kamar Johnston's birthday party, a night meant for laughter, for life. But beneath the glow of cheap liquor and cigarette smoke, the air was thick with something else, something unsaid, something waiting. Among the guests, Paul Nunez stood with a quiet purpose. The son of a woman disrespected, the son of a windshield shattered. He whispered a request into the ear of another. A lure was set. A name was spoken. Alexis. And just like that, the night changed. 1:30 a.m., Alexis arrives, not alone, but with his 14-year-old nephew, Jeffrey, 2 souls walking unknowingly into the lion's den. The side door creaks open. They step into the garage. The music cuts. The lights vanish. And the room, a room once filled with laughter, falls into an unnatural hush. A new sound emerges, a voicemail. The the message he left, the moment that started it all, now played back to him, haunting, inescapable, his own voice, his own mistake, his own death sentence. The ambush is brutal, immediate. Fists, boots, the crack of bone. The floor becomes a canvas, painted with blood and rage. The lights return, but hope does not. Jeffrey is ripped away, stuffed into a closet, a gun pressed to his skull. He listens. He listens as his uncle is beaten beyond recognition. Pistol whips, blood, a gold tooth knocked from his mouth. Then, a voice cuts through the violence. A command from Kamar Johnston. Tie him up. A girl obeys. Ashley Toy, pregnant with Kamar's child. She moves without hesitation, black shoelaces in hand. Alexis begs. He pleads. But Mercy does not live here. The knife glints under dim light. Kamar grips it tightly. And then, he carves. CF, the letters of his legacy, the brand of a monster, etched into Alexis's flesh like a cruel signature. And the knife? Passed around. One by one, they all take part. They all sign their names in blood. Alexis is alive when they shove him into the trunk. Jeffrey is forced into the car, forced to listen, forced to breathe the same air as his dying uncle. The drive is long, the road empty. Then, an industrial wasteland. The trunk opens, 7 shots. The final one, to the back of the head. Then Kamar turns. His eyes lock onto Jeffrey, a child, a witness. Do you want to go home? Jeffrey nods. A glimpse of hope, a sliver of life. He turns, takes a step forward. Wait! Jeffrey turns back. A single gunshot, a promise made, a life erased, 2 bodies burned, their final moments swallowed by flame. And yet, the embers of this story were far from dead, because fire always leaves ashes. The morning sun rose on a city forever changed. Smoke still lingered in the air. The bodies of Alexis and Jeffrey, once full of life, now charred remnants of a senseless vendetta. The news spread like wildfire. 2 teenagers tortured, executed, and left to burn. A memorial was held, candles flickering against the evening sky, tears falling onto pavement that had never known such sorrow. But grief gave way to justice. One by one, the cash fiends fell, arrested and shackled, their bravado crumbling beneath the weight of their own sins. Even Kamar Johnston, their so-called leader, met his fate, not in a blaze of glory, but surrounded in a Miami hotel room, caught by his own arrogance. The trials dragged on, each verdict a nail in the coffin of wasted potential. Guilty, guilty, guilty. This is what happens when rage becomes purpose, when pride replaces reason, when the rules of society become suggestions instead of laws. The youth who walk these streets now should take heed. This is not a story of power, but of loss, of choices made in the heat of the moment that turn to ash in the cold light of consequence. Because in the end, every one of them thought they had time. But time ran out.